Hey, what is up, guys? It is me, Hilarious, aka Dewdrop Drew. So, I just so you know, this video is gonna be more serious, as I'm going to be talking about stuff that's more personal to me and stuff that is going on in the world. So, yeah, I'm using my face cam. As you can see, right now I'm using my tablet as face cam for my computer. Got my recorder on my computer over there, my OBS. So, um, just I wanted to talk about why I left YouTube for like a year and where I was and how I was doing. And I also want to talk about Black Lives Matter because I believe that Black Lives Matter, and I really like it. It affects me too because I I just I believe in equality, and I believe that everyone should be treated equally. Um so yeah, but this video is unscripted. I'm just going to be talking, and I got my new microphone, so hopefully the audio sounds better. And yeah. So I'm going to mention the ninja shirt for comedic purposes to kind of make this less serious. I bought it for a joke, as a joke, and I respect Ninja, and I I don't know. I just respect him. But anyways, so first I will talk about Black Lives Matter. Um so in my city there is going to be protests today. As I'm recording this, it is Saturday, June 13th, 2020. And so there are protests today and tomorrow. And I was going to go protest because I believe in equality, and I really I don't know, I just want to try to show or raise awareness. But I just want to tell you guys that before I talk more about this stuff, I'm a 15-year-old. I am not very smart. Um, I I'm not the best at knowing what to say. So if I say anything that offends you, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I just want to talk about everything. So I Black Lives Matter is personal, or I really it means a lot to me because I feel like this has been going on for far too long. And I would have thought that people would have grown up. I would have thought that people would have at being like gotten better at not being racist. And I would have thought that people, especially cops, would respect black people more. And I think it's very unfair that this is how they're getting treated. So I I believe that, I know I'm just a 15-year-old boy, and yeah, whatever, I look like a girl, I sound like a girl, but and I'm not really making a difference, but I just want to raise awareness and show everybody, or spread like information or whatever, or just tell everyone my thoughts, I guess. So I really I just think it's very unfair that this is happening, and I think that we as we as people could be doing a lot better, and we should have been doing a lot better. And it's crazy to think that this has all been going on for ever, but it's now just being released because now we have cameras that we carry around. So, like, it's I know what it's like to be treated unfairly, and I I know what it's like to be treated unfairly because of my mental health. I don't know what it's like to be treated unfairly because of my color though, but I really I when people treat me unfairly because I have mental health issues, I really don't like that. So I can't imagine what it's like to be to live through this. So I just feel super ashamed, and I feel disappointed that this happened, I guess. I hope I'm saying the right thing because I don't know. I'm just it's I don't know. I don't know what to say, but I feel like we need to do better, and I feel like people should start realizing how unfair it is to treat people differently because of their skin color, their mental health, or they're different because they're different, I guess. So I feel just terrible. And I'm so glad that the world is starting to realize that all this stuff. And I'm so glad that we're finally going to, hopefully spread as much awareness as we can. So, the reason why I'm talking about myself and my mental health in this video, too, is because I don't want to put too much serious videos on my channel. I just want to talk about kind of why I've been gone for a year, and I hope it's okay with you guys that I talk about this in the same video. I just don't want to be posting too many super serious videos, and so I hope that's okay. So now I'm going to talk about why I was away from YouTube. So if we look at my video from 1 year ago called Stream Sniping in Fortnite, I thought I put a lot of work into that video. And for the time, it was a lot of work for me. I try a lot more to make better videos now. So, but when I know it was definitely, I think I know who it was that went on all of their accounts and disliked the video. So, but it really made me feel upset. I wasn't offended. I just felt like, oh, I guess they just feel like disliking it like crazy. Which was okay, but then I started getting demotivated because I felt like, oh, now if I upload another video, it's just gonna get disliked into oblivion. And and if that's happening, then people will probably think, oh, well, it's getting so much dislikes, why should I watch this? So I was feeling really demotivated. But I also was focusing a lot on my mental health at that point. And because I've for quite a long time I've struggled in school. And school has always been hard for me because I suffer from anxiety and sometimes depression. I'm diagnosed with PTSD and ADHD and OCD. So school isn't exactly too easy for me, and so I had to focus a lot on my mental health. And it was difficult for me because it was tough for me when if I stayed home because I was too anxious to go to school, or I stayed home because I was sick, there would be punishments. Because at that point, we we weren't thinking about rewarding me for going to school, which I know sounds like that's stupid. Why would you reward a child for going to school? It's because it was because if I didn't have a motive to go to school, I would have not gone at all. And I was already having very poor attendance, and it was very tough for me. So at that point, we would punish me if I stayed home. And I just felt terrible. Like nobody understood what I was going through. Like nobody understood that I was actually suffering. And like I felt forced to sign this agreement with my school counselor, and that my family all signed. And it said something like how if I stay home from school, I'm going to be punished. And if I stay home from school, there's going to be consequences. And for a long time, I I felt I had terrible attendance for years. For years. And I just thought I got sick too much, and I just thought it was because I got super sick all the time. But it was because I was super anxious, and it just it was really tough going to school and being afraid of everything pretty much. I have social anxiety, so it's tough for me to interact with people. That's why I hide behind my desk all day. Um but like I was so scared when I got to school cuz I was scared the fire alarm would go off, and because I part of my PTSD is being afraid of beeping and flashing, I guess, because I won't go too much into detail, but it was because I was in the hospital when I was like probably 4, and the beeping, you never knew whether the beeping was a good thing or a bad thing, especially because I was a kid. I didn't know what whether it was good or bad. So the beeping really scared me. And in school, I love my grandma so much. She's like, I love visiting her and I love seeing her. And had sleepovers all the time with her when I was younger. But she moved into a condo which had a fire alarm in there, like a big one, big red one. And for a couple years when she was in it, I was okay sleeping there until fire alarm went off a couple times when I was over one night. And when it just seemed like whenever I would go, the fire alarm would go off. So now I'm too scared to sleep over at my grandma's. And my grandma's, like, I feel so bad because I love sleeping over at my grandma's. Make fun of me all you want. Because, but I just, I don't know. And now I can't even sleep over at my grandma's because I'm too scared. And I'm too scared to go to school sometimes. So anyways, it got to grade 9, I was going into my first year of high school. The beginning went pretty smoothly. I was transitioning all right until we got later into the semester. So I was eventually getting really depressed. And I was very upset, and I felt very, very helpless. And so it ended up that I ended up doing some really regrettable things, like, to myself, if you get what I mean. I I after I after I went back to school, after staying home for a couple of days because went through something really bad, um, I I went into I ended up going to school again for like a week, and it went terribly. No, I think it was just one day actually. I have a really bad memory, which I will get into later. Um, but anyways, I went to school for like one day after I got back from lawn break, and I was just so upset all morning. I started crying in the middle of my practical applied arts class, and because I told my friend what happened, and I felt like he was disappointed in me, even though he wasn't. Sorry, my dog is barking in the back. But Zane, aka Zen, he is the one making the music. He is the one I told what happened. So, we've been recording for 16 minutes, but so I just felt so terrible. Zane would never be disappointed in me. Zane always cheered me on, and Zane still cheers me on. And I would never trade him for anything. He's my best friend, and like I'm just so lucky to have him. And but I felt super bad when I went and told him what happened. He was I think he was starting to cry, and I got upset because when I get upset or when I see other people crying, I start to kind of tear up. And like it's just it was tough for me because I felt like I let him down. And so when I went to second class, I had already had a shorter schedule. We got rid of period 1, and because I wasn't making it to school enough, and I went into period 2, period 2 for me, which would be period 3 for everyone else. And the math teacher I had, which was I'm in math 9 plus, which is like basically for people who need extra help in math. When I went into that class and the teacher there was school counselor too, I had told her that I just felt super sad when she came to say hi because she hadn't seen me in a while. I had told her I felt super sad. And and it just, she brought me to the counselor's office with the grade 9 and grade 11 counselor. And I burst out crying because I felt super I felt stuck. I felt like there was no hope. And so basically what they said is they sent me home and that I can stay home for as long as I want. And me and my mom came up with the idea that what if I didn't go back to school? What if I just didn't go back? And I would go to a special school for mentally challenged children, and emotionally challenged children. So when I went back for the meeting, they said I looked happy. They said I looked healthy. And so basically we had decided that I would go to that special school. So, and then that was in probably February or early March. I can't remember. But then I just never went back to school. I told my friends goodbye. I told all my friends goodbye, and I lost contact with one of them. Not because she was upset with me, but because she just couldn't contact me. And it was tough leaving. Even though it seemed, even though I was so happy to be leaving, it was tough. But So after I told everyone goodbye, I went home, and it was a different day when I told everyone goodbye, not the same one as when I took a break. But when I just finally had all the time in the world, and I felt like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders, like I was free. And that was the first time in a long time I felt free. And but then COVID came along and everyone came home, which is not a big deal. And so basically the reason why I left YouTube for a year was because I needed to take time to focus on my mental health. So I was recently diagnosed with functional neurological disorder, which basically makes me. It's just a whole bunch of symptoms. If you would like to look it up, then go ahead. But yeah. So that's why I was gone, and I just wanted to have a more serious video. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you understand. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.